special anymore because it just drowns in the whole, you know, look at us, look at what we're doing, and tomorrow we have something else and so on. So we are going to try to address some of this in the last part in the discussion. We'll be using the same model with the groups and the musical cinema chairs. But before that, we picked some examples of curated cycles or events and partnerships which can maybe serve as a trigger to have you replicate them or think of something else you would like to do in your cinema. And of course it was a very difficult choice because everybody's doing extraordinary things and programming is our core mission, right? This is what we are here for. So of course we're all very passionate about it and we're trying our best. So if your event or your special program didn't get picked, please feel free to share it in other more informal ways if you think it can help somebody. And yeah, we will have 4 presentations, and I will be starting. And I promise it's the last time I'm presenting. And in the coming days, you will be hearing much less from me. But this is how it turned out in terms of sharing the time with my 2 wonderful colleagues. So let me take my T-shirt. It's important. I was given very specific missions from my communication colleagues. I cannot do what I want.
Who are you?
Sorry? Who are you? I'm a new person. Thank you. So let's see if this works. I think you should have put my presentation in. Yeah. So I will be speaking about our curated monthly series. I've already had the opportunity to explain what we're doing, and the main way for us to differentiate our cinemas and to kind of set their identity is obviously the film choices we make from the distribution offer. Also the way we place the festivals, like which festivals goes or which external event goes in which cinema, but also the way we curate the special things ourselves. So we came up with this monthly series, and these are the ones we are having this year and also last year, but some of them already went away, but these are currently happening. We have a special place for them on our website. Everything is in Romanian, but I think you can make up more or less. So I will be explaining some of them in 3 of our venues, so 2 per venue. I will not be going into all of them, but just to have an idea about the graphic, because this was this question earlier also. We have a graphic identity for each of them, and we kind of try to always repeat it and push it in the minds of the people so that they identify this series and they look forward for it. And even when you're on the website and there's a new episode of that series coming, you can see it under. So for example, this series called The Great Painters, it's with exhibition on screen. I think you heard eye on screen or something like that. And the next episode is Frida Kahlo. It's a very small one here, but it's actually screening today. So even when you enter here, you can already see the fact that it's coming every month. So in Cinema Victoria, and I'm sorry for the contrast, I was not prepared for the dark photos not being very visible, but we'll manage. So I've put the title in the color of the cinema. So the magenta one is Victoria, our oldest venue, opened in 2022 again. So here, as you maybe remember, it's all about community, all about different groups being welcomed and feeling like you are at home. So a very successful series for us here is Film Therapy, and it was actually picked up and made into a Collaborate to Innovate project at the European level. But I'm proud to say we were the first ones to start. So the concept is quite simple. You pick a film which has a dimension that can be turned then into a bigger debate. And we have a partnership with an association of psychologists in the city, and they offer a guest speaker, which is a psychologist, and somebody from our staff, our colleague Teodora, who is the author of this series and the one driving it. She is discussing in a one-to-one discussion with the psychologist and with the whole audience, obviously, but not like a Q&A. It's a longer discussion. It's 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. You go in depth, and you start from the film and go further. For example, here it's a film, I don't remember the title, but it's about consent. When you're an adolescent and you try to fit in, but maybe you don't know so much about how to protect yourself. And so, for example, this was a very nice discussion. Or Sorry Baby, where you're having it today, in terms of also. So these films are films from the distribution, but we don't necessarily screen them when they are released. We can screen them much longer after that, and they still have a very, very good turnout, much better than in a normal screening, because people want the discussion. People want to go and experience a more in-depth debate and feel like a group therapy session almost, because we find that there's a lack of connection in our modern world. We live disconnected. We have no place to actually share ideas and feel comfortable, you know, expressing personal things sometimes. So this is a way to foster that, and we find that we've been doing this for 2 years now, every month. And the community keeps growing, and it still has a very good success. And then this is another series that we started last year that's very much in tune with our identity in Victoria. It's called Victoria for All, screenings for vulnerable groups. And we have a partnership here with the Municipality Direction of Social Services. So they help us bring the people who are not capable to come by themselves, who are maybe too old or isolated, or kids from foster homes, or children, or even adults, of course, with hearing disabilities or seeing disabilities. In Eastern Europe, unfortunately, accessible screenings, and we'll come back to that with Maev in another session, are not the norm. They're very rare. Many people don't even know this exists. So we thought, instead of not doing anything, we'll at least have once a month something that is catering to a specific group, whether it's seniors or people with, here we have a group of wheelchair users that they came, and we were so happy. We sent a volunteer to accompany them and so on. So these people feel that they are part of the community too, and they feel that there's something for them, and it's not just for the other people to enjoy the cinema, it's for everybody. And these screenings are open for everybody, so our hope is that more and more, let's say, classical abled people or people who can attend the other screenings as well can come and mix and mingle with these other spectators who are more rarely there. But for the groups which are vulnerable, the access is free. So we negotiate with the distributor and pay a flat fee for that film, because we don't want the price to be another barrier. We want them to be able to enjoy this and feel that the cinema is also for them. So going to our bigger hall, Cinema Timiș, this is a 500-seat venue, which we are programming and gearing as identity towards things that you cannot miss, the big releases, the big concerts, the big events. We have 2 series here, which I will shortly underline. This is the series with exhibition on screen. It's a very simple concept. If your distributor in your country has this series, then you can access it as well. Why did it work for us? Why did it function so well? It's the 3rd year in which we're doing it with different episodes of different painters. Basically, you have one painter, and it's a portrait of his life and of his work. So it's nothing, it's like a documentary about that. But we really worked on the graphic. So we made a very beautiful poster, and we kind of have all these declinations of, for example, when we have the Vermeer episode, we put it bigger, and when we have the Klimt one, we put it bigger, and everything is then declined in very many forms for social media. And the partnership here is with the Museum of Arts. They don't do anything, to be honest, except put the poster up, but they have a lot of people coming in their casa, and in return, and they have we give them exactly what to post for one post a month on their social media. In return, we let 10 of their employees come for free and see the movie. And it's not much. I mean, it's not a huge partnership, but it works for us to be able to reach those audiences who like classical, painting and so on. And it has been a huge success. We have filled, like for Klimt, it was 450 seats out of the 500 who were full. Many times we have to retake to make another screening because there's not enough place for all people. And another tip, which is easy, I think, to implement, which we're trying out with this one, we put all the screenings from the beginning in the program. So it's very small here, you cannot see it, but we have the dates and the hours up until 27th of August. So the whole program is on sale from the beginning. People can plan for it, and it's mostly senior people, golden spectators like somebody thought. And they like to plan, and they like to not miss it. And so it helps them. Of course, it's a bit of a problem for the programmers, because they have to then program around it. That cannot be changed anymore because people have bought tickets and you have all the media around it and the posters. But for us it paid off to block some moments and to just stick with it and program around it, because then it gives it almost like an opera season or like a theater season, you know, just look at it in the long run. Another one, which is, again, I'm not inventing the wheel, repertoire cinema, we called it Timeless Timiș, and we screen monthly international classics on the big screen, which mostly in Romania you cannot see, or anything. It's not such an evolved concept anymore, like Evgenia said with Bulgaria now. And we try, like the extra part, again we have the specific graphics that we put it on the screen as well all the time. Here you cannot see, but it's a completely full house for the Pulp Fiction screening. And we try to tie it with something, so it's not just why do we randomly find and screen one title. Well, when Pulp Fiction was, I don't know, 60 years old or something, we screened that film. When this was for the anniversary, for the commemoration of the Holocaust Day. This was when Redford died. So you find something, find a click, so that people will feel, now I have to see this. Not just a random moment when I can find it on my YouTube and whatever. I need to see this now on a big screen because something happened, because it's 50 years since it was released, because whatever. And then, for us at least, it worked. And also a reason to make this graphic and put it on the screen and have the posters and all that, people want to make selfies with it. They want to kind of immortalize the moment they saw it on a big screen, because these pictures are iconic, everybody recognizes that Uma Thurman moment, or I don't know, breakfast at Tiffany's or whatever. So you can use this to your advantage and have your cinema brand circulate, because people want to be photographed and arrive in a selfie with this kind of images. Going to Cinema Studio now, our third venue, and the one which is more artsy, like let's say Cinematheque geared and more towards the cinephiles. This is Film After School, a monthly film club for teenagers. It's honestly a project we are struggling a bit with. I was ready to drop it several times, but one of my colleagues is very invested and passionate about it, and she really wants to take the time with high schoolers and explain and teach about cinema. So once a month we have a screening. They choose the film from a list. Obviously they cannot choose anything they have in mind, but from a list. And they are always having a discussion after the film, either with the film director or somebody from the film, oftentimes on Zoom, because we cannot afford to bring them in. We are not in the capital city, they're not there most of the times, but we do it online and it works fine. And the teenagers are the ones moderating. The teenagers are the ones introducing, moderating the discussion, choosing the film and so on. Obviously it needs to be a follow-up, so my colleague meets with them several times a month. And there's one screening, but all the other meetings are to discuss, to prepare, choose. So it's a time investment, and it's like a policy investment also to make time for this. But we have been, I would say, fairly successful, and the screenings are open to other people. It's just the film club team chooses the films, and they're acting like as hosts. But we found that the stakes were higher for them when they knew that other people will be coming. So it's not just between them and it's like 30 people in the room and whatever happens, happens. You have like real spectators, people who pay the ticket, so they have to play the part and be serious about it. And again, the graphics, and they have their own Instagram channel just for Film After School that they manage themselves. And then the repertoire cinema in Cinema Studio. This is another series we're playing only Romanian classics. This is the oldest series we started from the very beginning in Victoria, and then we moved it to Studio because Studio is the one geared towards the cinephile audience, the more, let's say, knowledgeable ones. So we felt the place for it was Studio rather than Victoria, where it started out. And the graphic is very evolved here. We're trying to push with all this retro imagery of films from the 60s and the 70s, and hopefully attract young audiences who never saw seen these films, and also the older ones who have seen them in the same cinemas before they were closed. So in the 70s, in the 80s, when these cinemas were at the peak of their attractiveness, let's say, and most of the screenings are also introduced by somebody in the team. As I said, in terms of, because these are the crown jewels, this kind of programming is where your team can show its creativity, can show its style, and so on. We really try to push them on the communication. On the website, we have a special part for the special program. Here, if you click on series, next to premieres and all that, you have series, and you can see them like this. And if you click here, for example, you will be taken to a different page where the series logic is explained. So we really try to push them as much as possible and distinguish them from the rest of the programming and make them as attractive as possible, so even more so than other films. And I will stress it once more, so you keep this in mind. If you forget everything else, use your screen, use the graphics if you can afford them, and try to have an identity that you project on the screen where people are coming in and sitting down. You have them then, they're captive, they're looking at your screen, they're waiting for something to start. You don't need to convince them to, be present, they are already there. So use those moments, 15 minutes, whatever, to push your programming and to have a beautiful thing on your screen so that they can photograph it and then recognize it and use it. Yeah, this is it. Thank you. Now we're going to another presentation. Anete from Latvia, please. Advance, please.
So, hello everyone. My name is Anete. I'm from Latvia. Perhaps you know my country because of this. But yes, we are very small. We have only 2 million people in Latvia, and I represent city Cesis, which has only 16,000 inhabitants. And my topic is Dita Rietuma's selection film series with the introduction from a critic to build European Arthouse Audience. So, about our venue, we are part of a regional concert hall, regional concert culture center. And we opened in 2014, so we are still quite young and with quite good infrastructure. And this is one of 4 regional concert halls in Latvia, and it has a special funding program that aims to enhance public access to professional art in the region. And our cinema is only movie theater in our city, and the closest cinema is in a 30-kilometer distance. And that also affects our repertoire, because we tend to fulfill all needs. We have children movies, we have blockbusters, we have also art house, and documental movies, and we have around 700 film screenings per year. So why we launched this initiative? Firstly, because our ambitions are quite high. Cesis is, as I mentioned, a very small town, only 16,000 people. We are located in 80-kilometer distance from the capital city, but Cesis has always been very rich in its cultural life. Last year it even declared itself as a cultural capital of Latvia. Also, we have a great potential because of our infrastructure, of the regional culture center, and it has a special funding program. So we have a possibility to get financial support. And also we chose a very known film critic in Latvia. She's a public person who's not only well known in our city but abroad. And her idea was to base the program on Europe films. So that's why we have this aspect of Europe. But how it all started, first attempt was in 2016, and we tried to reach a different audience, and we selected more art house movies. We invited film distributors to speak for films, and we had no visual identity of the program, but what we thought was a good idea, we offered a free wine for people, so that we wanted to attract them. And the results were that average about 20 tickets were sold per screening, but we felt that there was interest, so we decided to continue. And we continued when we invited Dita Rietuma, who is a well-known expert in film industry. And well, how it all looks, it looks that Dita comes from Riga to our film screenings. She delivers introductory lecture on the director, genre, themes, things that are important, and we developed the brand identity of this series, and we kept the line at the beginning. But then after COVID, we decided to skip it, and we were very delighted that it didn't affect the audience. It still came to the movies, not the time. And Dita is present in most of the bands, but we also have developed online sessions or pre-recorded videos for films. And this is how it looks during all like our posters. It's part of what has happened to us during 8 years, and so it is Europe films mostly. These are films that have appeared in Europe film festivals. There have been also some retrospectives like François Truffaut. We have had also Lars von Trier retrospective. And yeah, there are some films which are more like lookable and more common. And then there are some more challenging films like Golden Globe or yeah. And here you can also see our cinema. We at the beginning we didn't have a possibility to buy drinks or snacks, but then I think 3 years ago we had a roll bar. And also, I mentioned also the wine. For some part, I was also not only the producer, but also the wine producer and the manager. We got also local recognition in our city. And what we have accomplished is that these screenings are almost always sold out. We have a very dedicated audience that attends almost all of the screenings, and these are people who I already know by face and say hello to them on the streets. We have also a small cinema club of approximately 18 members, and we have really established a dedicated audience And it allows us to be more confident in our repertoire choices. We try to screen more Europe films, more art house films, and we became a member of Europe Cinema, which is also for us big recognition. Is such a small cinema. And here is what our critic Dita says about the program, and she also mentions that to various reasons Europe art house films tend to have relatively small audiences in Latvia, and that's why this project is significant both for promoting European cinema and for strengthening film literacy. Yeah, and it has been 8 years, and I hope our cooperation will continue. And yeah, thank you.
We will be doing the same. We'll ask questions at the end. So thank you so much for your presentation. And of course, it goes by itself that these are the things that differentiate us and our exclusive programming. As you mentioned, this is something you're offering, and nobody else does it the same way. So it's a way for you to stand out. And the fact that you've been doing this for 8 years, and keep going, and the audience is still there, is quite impressive. So to have a series go on for so long. So thank you for that inspiring example. We're going to Sweden now. Amanda, where are you? Here. So please.
Hey. So a big part of my job is to develop these special screenings. And the goal with them is to get people to stay longer before and after the film. Because we have, our idea is that our cinema should be like a second living room to our neighborhood. And so we have like a bar, a lot of couches, we want people to stay and talk about the films. And one of the things that we did then was to partner up with local restaurants. Because a big part of our brand is the local feeling, and not just Stockholm local, but local to our neighborhood. Because there are a lot of cinemas in Stockholm that are art house cinemas, independent cinemas with a bar. We are not alone. We are not unique at all in that aspect. So we focus on the extremely local. And so we call this concept Filmrullen, which is kind of a play on words. It has a dual meaning like film reel. That's the old analog reels. You would also say oh, do you want to go catch a reel? Would you see a movie? But rullen also translates into roll, as a sushi roll or a wrap, like a food thing. So it's kind of a play on the combination of food and film. And the tagline for it is, this is directly translated, but a film, a dish, a neighborhood, a perfect Sunday. And so what we do is, it's a monthly Sunday concept built around local and genuine collaboration, where we invite our favorite restaurants in the neighborhood to do a creative takeover. So they get to choose a film on their own. We help them, we guide them if they want to, but the choice is there. So if it's a French restaurant, they might choose a French film and so on. And they get to pair it with a signature dish from their kitchen. And we serve this food an hour before the film, so we encourage people to come early, hang out, and also stay after, like I said. And we started doing this as mainly a marketing event, so our goal was not to sell out, because logistically that would cause a bit of troubles, which I will talk about later. So that's a successful event with this would not mean 126 tickets sold, but maybe 70, 80, because it's more manageable that way. Yes, so we always aim to build a creative program that extends beyond just our screenings. We also have a film club for women. We have Mondays with Bergman, which is like Ingmar Bergman lived very close to where our cinema is located, so he used to frequently visit it when he was alive. So this is just part of our program. And the reason we chose Sundays at 1 o'clock was because we saw that it was a very slow screening time for us. We have like breakfast screenings every weekend at 10:30, and they're very popular. We serve breakfast and then it kind of dies out after that, so this was an initiative to get people to stay for that as well. But we only do it once a month because it takes a lot of planning. And we need time to market it as well, so it can't be a weekly thing. What we have seen is that it has increased our secondary revenue a lot. We kind of market it as like a hangover cinema thing, like come buy a Bloody Mary, a White Russian, recover from your weekend, you get like good food and a nice movie and you get to hang out with your friends. Otherwise bar sales on Sundays are not as high. And we also launched it because we wanted to reach new audiences, and we thought that we could do that by reaching the restaurant's audiences, and they could also reach new audiences from our audience. So it's like a mutual beneficial collaboration. And about marketing and branding, our cinema, we do not have any commercials, we do not have any trailers before our films, we do not have any film posters in our cinema, only art from local artists. So our marketing is mainly online, I would say. And so what we did with this was we did a joint post with the restaurant, as you can see, both of us there, and we come up with original artwork for it. They also did their own posting. This is just their Instagram. Also original poster that we did. They also put the ticket link in their bio for like the whole month when we're promoting it, so that helped a lot. And as you can see here, I don't know if it's so visible, but this is the amount of views we got on our joint post, which for our Instagram is quite a lot, 16,000. And specifically I want to highlight this, that it's mainly non-followers that saw this post, so it kind of shows that we actually reached new audiences. It's almost 60% non-followers. So we're very happy about that. Some more marketing examples. Like I said, this is more non-digital marketing then. So this is before the screening. We put up the restaurant's logo and our logo, like as a joint thing before the film starts. Very Instagram friendly. We saw a lot of people taking a picture of it, tagging and stuff like that. This is also, you can't really see, but it's a specially designed poster, and that was actually the only poster we put up at our cinema, since we don't do film posters. And then, most importantly also, this is a picture from the restaurant. During the whole month, for the leading up to the takeover, they put up posters, like on their, by their toilets, by the bar. So it had all of the information of what movie, that it was a takeover, where it was, how you bought tickets, and all of that. So we got a lot of physical visibility at their location as well. I also want to mention that because they get to choose their own film, we put a lot of care and effort into actually choosing what restaurants we want to collaborate with, because it's supposed to feel genuine, like we genuinely want to choose our favorite places where we go to hang out. And so then their choice of film actually fits our vibe or repertoire as well. So this restaurant chose to screen The Big Lebowski, which is like a typical movie that we would have shown either way. So it's like it works. We don't have to, and I think that's why it feels authentic as well. Like we already like each other in real life too, so it's just a fun collaboration to do. What is it? Oh, learnings. Okay, so what we did was that we included the food in the ticket price to reduce food waste. So the tickets were, scared to say it now, but the tickets were like maybe 38 euros. And then we split it, so we obviously divide that by half, and they get, like that covers the food costs from the restaurant, and then we split our half with the distributor, as we always do. But we got all of the revenues from the bar sales, so it was still like a good deal for us. And that also meant that we couldn't sell any tickets at the box office. So all tickets had to be pre-booked, which we were a bit worried about at first, because as we're a neighborhood cinema, even though most of our ticket sales are online, we welcome the idea and we love that people come in spontaneously to buy a ticket as well. But for these type of screenings, we couldn't facilitate that, because it would be too much of a loss to just throw away the extra food. But it worked out well, because then we could market it as like, so that if this is on a Sunday, then on Friday we will close the bookings. And then that created kind of like an urgency to buy a ticket as well. Like, this is your last chance, don't miss it. So it wasn't actually a problem. And like I said, don't underestimate the time it takes to plan. Especially since we're doing a lot with like joint branding, our own posters and all that. And I say we, but it's me. I do that. I've become a part-time graphic designer almost. But it's fun, but it takes a lot of time. And our biggest obstacles has to do with our kitchen size. Like, we don't actually have a restaurant kitchen. We have a bar with an oven. And so that's also why we don't hope to sell out, because how do we serve food for 126 people? We've never done it, we probably can't. So our goal is like around 60 to 80, otherwise it wouldn't work. And the restaurants are all within walking distance of us, because it's a very dense area for restaurants and bars and stuff. So what we've done is that they prepare most of it at their big kitchen, and then they bring it and we just do the final touches. And they are also completely free to choose what to serve. Like, we have no involvement in that. We just recommend, like, we don't have seats for everyone, so preferably a roll or something that you can actually stand up eating. But that's not part of our planning, it's on them. Yeah, I also said keep food waste down. We kind of made sure of that by stopping the ticket sales early, so we just prepped the exact amount of food, so that there was actually no food waste, which kept our margins up. And we also had a long discussion before we launched this about pricing, because the restaurants, they don't make money on this. Like, they break even. The only thing they charge for is the food costs, not the actual time it takes for them to prepare or anything. We throw in like 10 to 15 free tickets for them and their staff and their friends, so they get to come to the screening as well. But we didn't really know how to price this to begin with. So that has been something that we have like tried our way, but it works. Like, that price is set now, and it's a good middle ground for us, I think. But it was hard to know beforehand. And a little bit about the return on investment then. I think it even more cemented our cinema as a local meeting place, that that feeling of like we're for the neighborhood, by the neighborhood, and we're like a joint effort. We invite our friends in the neighborhood, everyone who comes are neighbors. It's like a fun, very local feeling. So it helped strengthen that brand. And like I said, we wanted to feel like a living room. And what do you do in your living room? You chill and you watch films. So that's like we just extended that to our venue as well. And it also has strengthened our business-to-business relationships with these restaurants, which I think for the future will only help us even more, because sometimes we have events and they want to bring in external catering, and then we already have that dialogue and they know of us, they know what our venue looks like, so it helps us out in that way as well. And like I said, we reached new audiences, and so did they. And they, I think why it's like attractive to them to come and do this creative takeover, even though they're not making any money off of it, is because they get like, it's like cultural currency. They get the feeling of like, look, we're kind of cool, we get to choose our own movie. It strengthens their brand as well. So that's good, and then it has been very appreciated by our regular customers as well. They love when we like go out of our way to come up with new things, where we also get the chance to like meet them and interact with them, and they don't just come for the film and then they leave. Yeah, and all of our marketing has been completely free and organic, like I showed you. Just joint posts on social media, no paid ads, just word of mouth. We don't have any visuals on our screen before a movie starts, which I think we want to have, but we don't have the capacity to, like we don't have the time to do all of that. But what we do is that for every screening we go up and we present the film, and then we also talk about, like, oh, by the way, next Sunday we're doing this with this restaurant, come and see, and we're serving this food, and so it's, we market it a lot to our audience verbally. And then also it was a joint staff effort, so we didn't actually have to schedule more of our staff, so we kept our staff costs down because they brought their own staff and they helped out as well. So even though we had more visitors than usual during this time, it didn't affect our scheduling at all. Yeah, and this is a picture of the screening room. Thank you.
We are again running a bit behind, so we'll go straight to the next presentation and then get some questions. I mean, some of the questions. Alejandro, I think you were up, please. We had the food, now we go to the drinks. In the right order.
Hello, I'm Alejandro. I'm from Spain, from Oviedo, in the north of Spain. I work at Cines Embajadores from Canada. First of all, sorry for my terrible English. I don't speak very well, but I'll do my best. Okay. Today I want to talk about one specific event, an event that has become one of the most successful in our cinema and even across our region of Asturias. One event that for me it's a perfect example of how a cinema can stand out, attract the audience and keep them coming back. The event is called Cervecines. Cerveza, beer in Spanish, okay, and cine from cinema. Okay, the idea. In Spanish, Spanish people, they drink a lot of beer. And in Spain, the world of craft beer is growing very fast. Every year there are more breweries, there are more bars, there are more festivals, and more people interested in it. So, but something interesting happened. The people fall in love with that world not because the beer itself, but because the community around it. Open, creative, funny people, always ready to organize something fun. Okay, so I realized myself, one of the best moments of going to the cinema is happen after the movie. When you go with your friends for a beer and talk about the movie and whatever. So I asked myself, why not bring that moment inside the city? Okay. This is how Cervecines was born. Why craft beer? Easily a growing sector. The craft beer industry continues to expand rapidly. Craft beer has a good shelf-space in supermarkets, mainstream restaurants, digital platforms. So what happens with cinemas? Well, okay. Craft beer is essential to Cervecines, sorry, because it's a growing world of creativity and diversity that have countless beer styles to allow us to make every session unique. Every singularity, those are different stages, young audiences, later I talk about that, and premiumization, quality ingredients, command, premium, position, and higher margins. Drink less, but drink better. Okay, the team and the goal.
This is the team.
He is Hector, okay, he is the head and the heart of Cervecines. Is our beer expert. Hector select the beer, Hector explain the beers to the audience and helps to create the pairing between the beer and the movie, okay? Because our goal is not to drink during a movie, our goal is to drink the movie. Create a full experience where the movie, the audience and the drink are connected. Okay, how the event works. Cervecines has three main elements. The film, the tasting, the beer tasting, okay, the beer, and the discussion. The movie, everything starts with the movie. We, first, always original version with Spanish subtitles. Okay, okay. We usually choose a cult movies, okay, unknown to the general public, sorry, and difficult to see on a big screen, at least in a small city like Oviedo. Carpenter, Orson Welles, this month, Sam Raimi and Philip Kaufman, I talked about that. For me, the event is about film discovery. It's important introducing audiences to hidden gems, cult classics, and emerging filmmakers, beyond traditional cinema, creating an immersive experience that transcends conventional movie watching. And curated selection by me. Okay, the tasting, very important. We select beers from Europe, always. Okay. That connect with the film. Through the flavor, through the aroma, through the evolution of the drink. We want the audience to feel that the drink and the movie are part of the same story. This is so important. You drink the movie. Back to the goal. Wait. Shit. Sorry. My nervous. Okay. For example, the last Cervecines, Philip Kaufman Invasion of the Body Snatcher, we select a Belgian wheat beer that look traditional, but hide ingredients and flavors unexpected. Just like the film. Oh, what ingredient? Look like a wheat beer, but no. So, in this way, we challenge the audience to discover the body snatcher. No, to discover that ingredient, that flavor. What's that? Oh, difficult. The beer is always revealed on social media the last week before the film, before the event. Always with a video parodying the movie. These silly videos are very popular in our community and are part of the soul of Cervecines. Okay, the discussion. Always after the movie we have a discussion, not like a Q&A, okay? More long, more screams, fighting. Typical Spanish conversation. Okay, at my experience at the cinema, many people are embarrassed to participate in Q&A or discussions, especially when these talks feels very serious and the audience is afraid of making a bad impression. Okay, Cervecines is the opposite.
Everybody's drunk.
Is the key. Our discussion obviously is like a bar's conversation. It's funny, it's participative, it's friendly, and a little bit crazy. Why? Because anything can happen, okay? Everything is a show. And the people talk, scream, go to the bathroom, obviously. This is one of the keys to our success. Okay, trial and error, important. We learn a lot by trying things and making mistakes. The naming, Cervecines, was born during a beer conversation between Hector and me, obviously. And the strength of the name in Spanish was so clear that we decided to register it as a trademark. Okay. The logo, the visual design, it worked at the beginning, from the beginning, sorry. So it stayed. But other elements were more difficult to develop, and some have evolved. For example, at the beginning, the event has split in two. The movie at the cinema, obviously, and the tasting and the discussion at the tap room, Viva la Birra, my partner business, okay? But this created problems. First, very limited capacity. The tap room only fits 30 people, so only a few people enjoy the full experience. This is a great problem. And the people only drink the beer after the movie, so the experience felt so weak. Well, no problem, we changed the event. Now, everything happens inside the thing, inside the screening room. The energy is so much stronger, but this created a new challenge. Two important challenges. The glass problem. Okay, in the tap room, each beer style has its own glass. But in my cinema, we cannot use crystal glass inside the screening room. And in craft beer culture, crystal glass really matters. Okay? So Hector and me, we test so many types of hard plastic cups until we found the right one. It's the first design, now yesterday he designed the new glass. If anyone later, no, sorry. Okay, now the cup of Cervecines is part of our identity. Okay, the other new challenge is the amount of beer. Getting a rare craft beer for 30 people is so easy. With a tap room, with an expert in beer, okay. Getting a rare craft beer for 100 or 200 people is so much more difficult. Also, it's a financial risk, because we need to buy a lot of beer, but never know if the event will sell out. So, over the time, we have built a strong relationship with several breweries to facilitate the whole process and prevent the risk. Okay? Because after all, craft beer is produced in small batches by microbreweries. It's difficult. Well, little by little, we refine the event, okay, and turn these obstacles into strengths and into part of the identity of Cervecines. Vale. How do we evaluate the return of our investment? Cervecines takes more time and more work than other events, but we believe it's worth it, because in economic terms remains one of the most successful events in Asturias and in the cinema. But also brings new audiences to the cinema. people from craft beer, younger people, okay, so, sorry, that usually not come to the cinema, now are loyal customers. So it's work as a getaway that gives us a strong identity in our city and position the cinema as a cultural meeting place. Oh, no song. This is why the people come back. Sorry. That's my fault. The event is also about people, obviously. Thank you. Cervecines taught us something important. The audiences want experience beyond the movie itself. Okay, people don't come to Cervecines only for the beer or the movie. Maybe at the beginning, but now they return to share experience, for the atmosphere, or for feeling of belonging. So we must continue to reinvent cinema for new audiences while preserving what makes so special. That's all. Drink good beer, watch good movies, meet good people, and have a wonderful day.
Now I will bring back all the A people. So Alejandro, Amanda, Anete, please come back here, and we'll have a joint Q&A, short Q&A session. So if there's any questions, oh, there's a lot of questions. Let's start here.
I have a question to you, actually.
Okay.
About the film after school. Where did you find the teenagers? I mean.
Okay. Endangered species. We put up on Instagram. We almost don't use Facebook for this because it's useless. Facebook is for older people like us. So we put a post on Instagram saying that we are recruiting for the core group. And the people who are coming and being part of the core group, they don't pay an entry ticket. So they are, like, say, the ones in the Cine Club, and the rest can ebb and flow. But the main thing was that we explained from the beginning it was going to be on a Wednesday afternoon, and it's not too late. So they know if they can fit it in their program, and it's going to, so we selected 20 people, out of which I think maybe 15 are regulars, not everybody still is coming, and we do this every year in the beginning of the school year. So in September we start again, because you lose some, they go for university or whatever happens. So you need to start again. Some people will reapply, but some people will come out from. So we don't work directly with schools. This is an important thing. We realize that it's a different dynamic if they come by themselves or if they come with a teacher. If they come with a teacher, they feel it's a school activity, works great for young kids. Absolutely doesn't work for teenagers. They feel pressured. They feel like the teacher is looking at them and they cannot be themselves. So no, we needed to do it independently from schools, but we did advertise, like we put a poster in some schools and some high schools, not just schools, but we didn't go through teachers because we felt they would lose the feeling that it's their space. We are not, like, we're not even choosing the film, it's their time. And the colleague who manages them is also quite young, so they don't feel that it's a teacher figure. Thank you for that. Anything else? Hi, and then we go here.
For Alejandro, I'm interested in the background. So what's your normal ticket price for a movie?
During week?
Yeah,
for Monday?
Average.
Ah, okay. 6.50.
Okay. And for Cervecines is
The beer,
the whole
5.
ticket.
You sell the bill separately? That's the
Yes.
first thing.
Yes.
to ask.
Okay.
So beer is sold separately.
6.50 and 5 or 6.
Okay, so you get
Depends the beer.
the movie and one beer, and then they sit in the cinema room, or you go out after the movie into another space where you stay and talk.
At the
and-
beginning, yes. Now do everything
In the lobby of the cinema, right?
in the
The
screening
discussion,
room.
no?
Yes.
It's
In the
in the
screening
So
room.
now you do everything in the screening room.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
You drink after the movie, before the movie, during the movie.
But how do you restock? Like, say somebody wants another beer, they finish the first one. Like, do you
During,
They
sell
go
during the
out?
movie, no.
No, just after.
Serving after and before.
Okay, so you can buy more, like have curing.
Yeah. 2 beers.
Okay, so we finish the movie. I'm in the room and I say, I want 2 more beers.
No problem.
I have to go out or you can come back?
No. Hector open. Loud. You drink here, talking with us about the movie, about the beer, about the time outside.
Okay, and how long does the whole thing last?
If the movie 2 hours, the discussion 1 hour and a half.
So you
Okay,
have to
so
screen
you-
it in the evening and then you stay.
Is the last
whatever
It's
it
the
takes.
last show.
the last show of
So
the
you
day?
don't
Yes.
lose another
Always is the
movie.
last show of the day.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
My
yeah.
partner want to close the cinema. Fuck you.
So if I get it correctly, the difference between the two operations is that for you, you have the meal inside the ticket, so you buy the meal and the ticket,
Yes.
and the beer is separate. So you buy the ticket and you buy how many beers you want, but it's not included in the ticket price.
Yes.
It's 2 separate things, and you deal with the distributor, and the money for the beer goes towards the beer exclusively. You don't get any of that money for the cinema. It's just the vibe and the engagement and all that.
It's a collaboration between
Yeah,
Viva la Birra
yeah.
and
But each of you
Embajadores
keeps
from
their
Ghana.
money,
Yes.
so you keep the money for the
for
film.
at the moment, yes.
Yeah, okay, thank you. There
Yeah,
was
so
here a question.
question was already answered.
Oh, perfect.
I have another question to Amanda because I have a similar series in my cinema, cinema Cesis. And I have a question. I would like to make sure that I think correctly. There is a film, and after the film we have a degustation inspired by film in a cinema hall, right?
No, so the food is, or you're talking about when we serve the food? Or
When,
do
yeah.
people eat?
Before. So we, so our cinema, it has quite a big space outside of the screening room with a lot of like seating and couches, like a living room vibe. So we invite them, we start serving the food 1 hour before the film.
Okay.
And then most people, they like go home after the film. So it's more of a hangout before the film. And the food is not connected to the film.
Okay.
It's a signature dish from the restaurant. But
Okay.
the restaurant also chooses a film that they feel communicates their vibe to the audience. So it is kind of matched, but indirectly.
And what kind of movies are these? Food cinema, for example, Julia and Julia, or
No, they get to
Ratatouille?
choose. They get to choose whatever they want. So, like I
Okay.
said, our last screening was of The Big Lebowski. They served like their signature dish from this restaurant is Swedish meatballs. So they served like a meatball sandwich. So it had nothing to do with the film itself, but more. It still makes sense as a combined thing because the restaurant's identity shines through both the film and the food.
And the last question, what about Sunday? Because for us it was a problematic day. Because restaurants told us that Saturday and Sunday is the most busy day for them, and a lot of restaurants featured in Michelin Guide, because there is our criterion, told us no, Sunday and Saturdays not.
So far we've only, like a lot of restaurants in our neighborhood are closed on Sundays. Or they have like only open on evenings.
Okay.
So it works, like it doesn't collide with their scheduling. So I guess the opening hours are a bit different in Stockholm.
And I would have a question also, because you mentioned the kitchen size being a problem,
Yes.
but they're not cooking in your venue. They're
No.
cooking outside. You're just heating.
So we recommend them to serve a cold dish.
Right. So why would the kitchen size in your venue be even a problem, because they're not cooking in the cinema?
Because they have to think of a food that it can be prepped in advance. So let's say it can't be prepped too much in advance, because then it will get soggy or not fresh. So they do like components of the dish in their kitchen, but then we would like assemble it.
Right. Okay.
So we still need the space,
Right.
we just don't have the tools.
Right. So you're not cooking per se, but you're assembling.
Yeah, they're cooking it, but we're assembling
Right.
it
Right.
together with them, but we still need the space for it in our cinema. And also, compared to your thing, which I noticed, is that then you're staying in the screening room for the whole time, so you can't show a film afterwards, for example. Whereas we invite them to come 1 hour early. There's still another film going on in the screening room, so it doesn't really collide, because we have the space to like hang out outside of the cinema. So it's not, we don't have to compromise with our regular program. Yes.
Okay. Maybe here and then.
Okay, I have a question for everyone. If you're thinking about the new cycle or creating a new cycle, are you always thinking about doing it monthly? Because when we are creating something new, we are a little bit scared. So we are trying to first off, like every 3 or 2 months, just to be sure that it's work, and then we are adding to every month or every 2 weeks. So how do you do it in your cinema, or how you think about it if you're creating a new cycle?
Maybe we start over here.
Well, I think like in more season September, December, and it is good. Then we continue the second season in January, May.
So you start, like from the beginning, you think of it as like one per month.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's important, at least knowing our audience, that we establish from the beginning that it's going to be a recurring thing, so they know what to expect on once a month every Sunday. So that's why I mean, it's a risk, of course, but I think it's also easier once you build something up over time, that it's been clear from the beginning that it's a monthly thing. They know what to expect.
Embajadores, every new cycle, always 1 a month. Always.
For us, we also started thinking with month to month, and now because we have so many series, sometimes we cannot keep up, and we don't have the time or the right film or something. I mean, it depends on the series, obviously. But we have one on mountains, for example, for cinema lovers who are also adventure people. They're climbing mountains and stuff. We don't always find the right expedition guide or whoever to. So sometimes we actually drop to less than once a month, but not by design. It's rather by the force of things that we cannot really keep up. But the ideal would be once a month. And we have a lot of smaller things which are not regular. And we test them during one weekend, or maybe a focus of 5 films, 6 films, something like specific one-time thing. And if we feel that was very successful, then we might, so we test ideas first, like in a short, like one-off, and then we think of developing it in a series. So we have both views.
Thank you.
Any other, yeah, Carol, you wanted to ask something?
Yeah, I had one more question for you. It was clear that you've been doing this for 8 years, right? Before the two of you, I was wondering, when did you establish this concept, and how did it evolve over time? Were there things you had to tackle? Like, of course, you discussed some, but also people-wise, was it immediately a hit, or did it take a while for it to build?
Yes, immediately.
Immediately.
Beer.
Okay.
And when did you start?
When we opened? No. September 2024.
Oh, so it's recent actually. Like,
Yes.
1 year and a half.
The cinema opened in April.
Right.
Okay.
My boss don't like the event, so
Now he
it
likes
works.
it.
Beer.
Okay.
This is our first season of doing this, but I would say it worked from the start, because the restaurants that we choose to collaborate with, they have such a strong brand already, and a lot of the people come through them. So.
Okay. Great.
I would add that for us it's always, we have the best results in the beginning, and then some of them kind of dwindle down a bit, but it's always, it starts strong. But we don't, like, we plan it in advance, we market it like at least 3 weeks, so a month before we start talking about it. It's not just like, oh, next week we start a new series. No, you have to put a lot of effort into it, and then our experience is that it normally starts strong and then either stagnates or keeps being strong or drops, and in which case we have to address some lingering issues we didn't think about before.
Okay.
I think we can take one last, please.
I wanted to ask you, you said your screen is never...
For me, or?
Yes,
Yeah.
for you. Your screen is never white.
Yeah.
So does it mean when the show starts at 4, for example, even when people come in 10 minutes before, 15 minutes before, there's something on the screen, or does it...
So we use the access time, how we call it. So when the doors open for the people to enter, there's already something on the screen. So of course the screen is white at some moments, but the people shouldn't be in the cinema on those moments. So we try to have something on the screen when the people are starting entering, and we normally have, we call it a loop. So we alternate the program of the week, which you saw in one of the pictures maybe. So it's like the week program of that cinema with our brand, so our photo of our logo and all that stuff. And if we have an upcoming festival or something else, so we have also that visual. So those are static visuals. We keep the loop going for, let's say, the duration of the access. Then right before the film starts, we have the moving images. So 1 or 2 trailers of films, 1 or 2 trailers of festivals that are coming, maybe 1 most of the times. And then we have the Europa Cinema logo. 3 of the cinemas, the first 3 are already members, so we enter it right away as soon as possible. And then we have thank you for that, it was needed. And then we have the rules, which we're trying to animate now, because you saw when I said you need to have your values and no eating and all that those we project on the screen as well. But we realized that people are so used to it, they don't read it anymore. They just it's like blind. So we are thinking of animating them or making it more fun, and maybe also audio, so that it protracts your attention a bit more. And then the animated logo of the cinema, and then the film starts. So this is...
So there's a projectionist who presses... Because we don't have any projectionists anymore. So
I mean, we have, you make the loop in the playlist, so you can automate it also.
So
but we do have projectionists in every room, and they decide, because the animated part, like the trailers and all that, starts when the lights are partially closed, and that moment comes normally when it's 5 minutes before the film starts. But sometimes if you have audience coming late or a huge crowd and you have to fit them in, then the human factor arrives, like, okay, let's wait 2 minutes more. But we do have like real people in the projectionist booth. At least I hope they are there. Sometimes I catch them smoking or something, but normally they should be inside at this particular moment. This is the plan, at least. Please.
Yeah, I just want to add a little thing about what you can show before the screening, and I was inspired by a film festival in Rotterdam. They had like a beautiful dashboard, and we created that as well in our cinema. And what is so nice about it is that you can, in real time, you can just change what you want to communicate. Mm-hmm. You can communicate like different kind of things, like maybe a little bit of social media and a little bit about your program and all these different kind of things.
And is it a software that allows you to do
it's
that?
a software, and
okay.
it's really easy because that is what is in your program, and we can, and in the back office we can add it, and we don't have to
automatic.
Yeah,
oh, right.
okay.
It's like a template, right?
Yeah.
Changing the content.
Yeah. We're doing it a bit more old school, to be honest. But I would be interested in having this software. We have either clips or like fixed like JPEGs that we convert to DCP, and we put it in the playlist like you would a trailer. So then you can automate it. If it's not in DCP format, you cannot do the automation part, at least the way we work. So everything gets converted, the graphic designer prepares them, it goes to the projectionist booth of each of the 4, they convert it, then they make plays.
This software is, it's a real practical during film festivals when you have sponsors and you have a amount of spots. And
Is it called Resolume by any chance? That's what you're
No, yeah, I think there are different ones, but
Right.
I have to check what it's called.
I'm really sorry, we'll need to break because the next session we are having big plans for you, and we're nowhere close to done. So I think you need a coffee break. Unfortunately, the musical chairs will have to be skipped now. We don't have enough time, but I think the presentations were really good, and congrats. In 10 minutes, please don't take longer because the social media session is also very dense. I think as much as I would have done, like this is what we want here. I think it maybe inspired, this meme thing that circulated with actors with their face, like you should